Hey guys, welcome to a fresh video here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. In today's video, it's time to go again. Grade the trade. And in this video, we are going to be doing Adam Saad. No offense to Adam Chera and the Adam Chera deal and the Adam Chera video, but this was way more interesting. There were so many moving parts to this deal. It's hard to believe that 4 years has come and gone since it happened. So we end up trading our pick 7, which became pick 8 to the Bombers. You'll see the details with what we gave up and what we got back. But essentially it centered around pick 8 for Adam Saad, who was coming from Essendon after being traded to the Bombers from the Gold Coast Suns years before. So this all starts as follows. Now keep in mind, I'm going to take you through the whole journey from the start of the nomination all the way through to the trade. You're going to hear some commentary here, and at the end of the video, I'm going to get you to chat below and give your opinion on what you deem the trade to have been graded for the Carlton Football Club. So this all starts with a nomination on the 6th of October, as reported by Tom Morris, that Adam Saad would like to join the Carlton Football Club from Essendon. So keep in mind, as it was reported, Carlton had picks 7 and 27 in the draft that year. That was where the speculation started. Also keep in mind that Zach Williams would join Carlton as a free agent that year. So that's where the talks essentially begun. Now, the next video you're about to watch is Gary Lyon and Tim Watson talking and really starting the debate around the deal and what it would look like and salary cap and what Carlton has at its disposal. So take a look at this.
My 8:30 man reckons that Carlton have been stockpiling salary cap room for a number of years now, which is why they make the big offers to Zach Williams and to Adam Saad.
And they haven't finished yet, is that what you're saying?
He's saying they're not finished.
Really?
They're not finished.
Surely you got more detail than that, though.
They are asking the question of some big names are asking the question of them. They're a destination club.
They have become that. I think a lot of the players like the style of the coach. So are you saying that they still have salary cap space for a big recruit, another big recruit? They'll get Saad through the door at $650 or whatever it is. They've still got room.
According to my man, they're not done.
This was on the 8th of October. Now, 7 days later, on the 15th of October, watch this discussion from Tim Watson and Gary Lyon as to, well, really it was around what Tim Watson believed Carlton should have given up. Now, there was a bit of debate. Saad was out of contract. There was a debate about why would you pay up pick 8 for him, etc., etc. Tim Watson on the 15th of October, 1 week after that previous video, says the following.
How do we get Saad from Essendon to Carlton so it doesn't hold up the whole the trading period?
Well, Carlton just give it pick 7 and it's done. Simple. That's as easy as it possibly can be. And if they can't, he's a first-round pick based on...
Is he a pick 7?
Well, it doesn't really matter whether he's a pick 7 or not. He's a first-round pick, and at the moment, Carlton have only got that pick 7. So if they have to split it... Okay, let me answer the question. If they split it and they go to Geelong and Geelong offer them their 2 later picks, I think they've got picks in the teens up until around about round 19 or whatever it might be, then that becomes a different conversation. But right now they've got that pick 7. So if they offered Essendon that pick 7 today, I'm pretty sure they would take that. Right now they would take that.
Now this was followed by a really interesting discussion with Steve Silvani and Matt Rendell on Trade Radio. This was when Sauce was appearing on there as a co-host. Really interesting stuff and really interesting insight here pertaining to why it was unlikely that a team other than Carlton would go near Adam Saad in the preseason draft. Now, keep in mind that the debate revolved around should Carlton just make him walk, etc. So take a look at this.
Attracted that.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. But ultimately, it's uncontracted. It's a bit more difficult. But sometimes deals do fall over. You just can't get them done. So some clubs can talk them back to come back in. Others can't. And
Essendon's not talking Adam Saad back in
Do you
now.
think it's all part of...
No, that's fine. That's probably unlikely, but all of a sudden then, they may lose him for nothing. you know what, Carlton don't get him and he'll end up at maybe North Melbourne or whatever. So, yeah, it's going to be a lose-lose for both clubs, really, isn't it?
Maybe this is part of the ploy is that we stuff up this deal and he says, I'm going to the pre-season, and Essendon just leave a spot there and take him in the pre-season.
He won't slide
in front
down.
of Carlton.
I couldn't imagine him sliding down to Essendon in the pre-season draft.
I don't. Yeah, if he says I'm not going to your club, if he says I'm not going to your club, I'll go back to Essendon if they take me.
It's hard.
It's hard
to take a player. It's hard to take a player when you haven't interviewed, done a medical. Medical's big,
and
particularly when if he puts a value on his head.
Yep.
And it's a lot of money, and you haven't done a medical. I can tell you now, the people on the board would be very nervous.
Wouldn't let it happen.
Kane Corns then chimed in with what he thought Carlton should or shouldn't be offering for the deal, and really just his thoughts around what you should be paying for a player like Adam Saad.
I think what you look at is the positions that you play and how desirable you are in terms of a demand in the game for that. So if you're a key defender and you've got some tricks, you can kick the ball, you're tough, you're aggressive, you can, a Harris Andrews or, Stephen May went for pick 6 because they just don't grow on trees. If you are a key forward like Jeremy Cameron, there's not many of them. Whereas a player like Saad, as good as he is and as much as we all rate him, there's 15 Adam Saads in the competition. We see that. So you don't pay pick 8 for a player that you can replace at the draft or you can replace with other areas. But you're right, Laura, there hasn't been many trades recently for players going.
Yeah, I think Lockie Weller was pick 2, but it was a boy. It was just showed their situation where they said, "Here's someone who wants to come to us." Lockie Weller wants to come to us, and he was. So that one was one they weren't happy about, the Gold Coast Suns, but they did it. And the other one, just thinking about, is Jake Carlisle again. At the time, I think key position player. St Kilda were keen for him. Pick 5, I think, was a pick that he went for. But, if it is, like Kane says, if it is pick 8, so be it. I think everyone will get on with it. But, it's just part of the negotiation where they'll get something back. It just depends what it is.
And then on the 11th of November, 2020, initially it was broken by, I think it was Riley Beveridge, the official deal. So Carlton gave up pick 8 and 87 to the Bombers. And in exchange, we received Adam Saad, pick 48 and 78. So all the negotiating, all the finagling around what the deal would look like, that's what it looked like. That was the final deal. And the club reported it on their Twitter and on their socials not long after, on the 11th of November 2020. I actually want to show you the graphic that young Ethan made at the time for the deal getting made. It's right here, and Ethan now works as a graphic designer at the Carlton Football Club, so very proud of him and very proud of that. And that was one of his early and best designs that he did. And if you look recently at the AFLW season, he used a very similar design and a backdrop for one of their game day or pre-game graphics. So that was on the 11th of November. Now let's take a listen to Adam Saad immediately after the deal was done and what he had to say.
Yeah, obviously you got to have some patience and have faith in your manager and both clubs to hopefully strike a deal. And you do get nervous at times, but I think there was 8 days or so. There's plenty of time for a deal to sort of to become true. And when it does, it's a great feeling, and it's exciting for for Jeremy Cameron, all the players that have been traded.
So take us through this year for you, Adam, and when did you first start thinking about whether or not you might be playing might think that you might want to play somewhere else?
Yeah, it's been a crazy year. So for me, I don't really know the time frame. I don't know when I started thinking about it, but sort of being out of contract, and I guess my mindset was what I needed, what I can do best, what I need to do that's best for myself and family, and that decision was based off that, and I felt like a fresh start and a new chapter, a new club was something that I needed. And as I've said before, I'm really grateful to the Essendon Football Club. And sometimes in life, a lot of time in life, actually, you got to put yourself and your family first. And my family's so important to me, so I felt like I made the right decision.
Did Hub Life contribute to the move at all? It was difficult for a lot of players. Can we put you in that camp as well?
No, not really. It was. I actually really enjoyed it, or better than I thought. It was challenging at times, but I guess, through these tough times, you improve on yourself and you learn a lot about yourself. And, at times it was challenging, but it didn't have no impact on my decision. Like I mentioned before, at the end of the day, it's just based off what I felt I needed in my career. And I felt like a fresh start and a new change and a new challenge was something that I needed.
Really interesting stuff there. Now we'll listen to what Nick Austin had to say at the time when the Adam Saad deal was done.
The Saad deal, obviously, which Riley Beveridge here sitting next to me broke yesterday. You departed with picks 8 and 87 and got a couple back later. Are you happy with where that landed in the end?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like any negotiation, there's going to be some ebbs and flows, but yeah, at the end of the day, the outcome for us was about getting Adam Saad into a Carlton jumper, and we couldn't be happier. But we also think it was a fair deal for both clubs.
Nick, how much emphasis was placed on speed going into this trade period? I mean, Zach Williams obviously has that in abundance off half-back. He's shown that the Giants over the last couple of years. Adam Saad, we know what he can bring and the liveliness he has with the footy. How much of an emphasis was that, given that the team sort of lacked that over the last 3 to 4 seasons?
Yeah, no, of course, yeah, it was a definite focus for us to add some speed and to put some speed on the ball in a number of positions. And we feel like Lockie can bring a bit of speed to our midfield and forward line as well. So I think across all lines, we've been able to do that, but not just speed. We also are after players that could win their own ball and defensively sound and that could make good decisions and use the ball well by hand and foot. So I think all three players are perfectly aligned to what we're trying to achieve, and they'll complement the up-tempo game style that we're looking to play.
Nick, about 35 days ago, Adam Saad said he wants to go to Carlton. It took until yesterday lunchtime to get that deal done. Would you have preferred to keep this year's pick 8 and use next year's first rounder in a deal?
Yeah, look, it was a long time, Cal, but yeah, it was never going to get done on early in the period. As I said, I'm here to do a job for the Carlton Footy Club, and Adrian's doing his best for the Essendon Footy Club. So the negotiations were quite amicable, and it's a fair deal for both footy clubs. But yeah, to answer your question, we believe strongly in next year's draft, and it was about getting Adam Saad through the door for us this year. And as I said, it was a fair deal for both clubs in our view.
So Adam Saad joins the club. It was very exciting times. I was really, really keen that we got him across the line. And this was at a point in time where, we get Saad, we get Williams. To be honest, I thought at the time they were the missing pieces and, the icing on the cake. It's so interesting looking back now at what hope was sold to us and what we bought into, or what I bought into. But I just thought we were so more advanced as a team than what we actually were. And, looking back now, I feel a little bit silly, but whatever. So Saad joins the club. Let's take a look at Adam Saad at the Carlton Football Club. So in 4 seasons, he's played 86 games for the Carlton Football Club. When we look at the story of Adam Saad, I mean, availability, durability, and consistency, I would say, are the 3 best ways to sum it up. I think this has been one of the better trades that we've made in the club's recent history, and there's always an unknown. Do you go to the draft? Do you take the player? Let's take a look at the 2020 draft and what could have or what should have happened. Keep in mind, pick 7 pushed out a bit to pick 8 eventually. Interestingly enough, Elijah Hollands was taken with pick 7 in the 2020 draft. Now, pick 8 was Nick Cox. I don't know if we would have taken Nick Cox. Maybe we would have. Would we have taken Archie Perkins? Not sure. Zach Reed, also not sure. Luke Pedler at 11, not really sure. Tanner Bruhn, potentially. Tom Powell. Heath Chapman at pick 14, if you're looking for a player that plays behind the ball in a similar way. I don't know. I don't know what you think. I'll let you go through the draft and see what you would have done. But I think overall we made the right call. Now let's go even deeper. Let's go into Adam Saad at Carlton. So he's played at a really high level. He's been an All-Australian, and that in itself, I think alone, makes this a tick for me. And, 2023 was, I think, the best year of his career. There was this really interesting tagline that seemed to come with him around he doesn't want to defend one-on-one or whatever the case may be. I think that's crap. If anything, I kind of want him to defend less, and I want him to be more attacking now, and that's just a personal preference. And I know that a lot of you that watch the videos have a very similar viewpoint. And of course, how can you forget the Essendon fans having their say around Adam Saad, and do you remember the time when Nick Hind was apparently better than Adam Saad? In a really weird way, I think it's been excellent. I would grade it an A. We get a player that comes to the club, plays most games. 2024 was the least amount of games that he played for us, with 18. So he plays most games. He plays at a high level. He defends well. He reads the play well. He's reliable, and he's been an All-Australian. So I think it's been a big tick for the club. That's my view. What about you? What do you think about Adam Saad? And as a follow-on question, moving into 2025, what do you want to see, and what do you think we will see from Adam Saad in the next, 3 to 5 seasons? Let's chat about it in the comments below, and we'll go from there.